Welcome back to Bay Area Focus. Earlier this week, I spoke to Sello Hatang of the Nelson Mandela Foundation and David Montgomery of Skylawn Memorial Park about their exciting plans to preserve Nelson Mandela's legacy. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Let's talk about Mandela's life. He left such a legacy.
Thank you very much. I think maybe I should first start by saying that for us, this is the Nelson Mandela Foundation. This is an opportunity to come and say our thanks to the people of California and San Francisco specifically for their support during the time of Madiba's passing and during the anti-apartheid struggle. And to say that we can never thank you enough for your efforts in making South Africa what it is today. I think that legacy is so rich in terms of how Madiba touched on education, it touched on healthcare, because he believed that for as long as there was someone at some corner of the world who was oppressed and didn't enjoy their freedoms, we can never claim to be free.
What is the mission of the Nelson Mandela Foundation?
The main thing that we do is to ensure that people understand the work that we do in terms of three key areas. And I hope that this year California will do a lot for Mandela Day, because the Madiba's birthday has now been declared an international day for humanitarian work. And we're hoping that that will be marked significantly here. The second part of the work is what we call dialogue work, where we engage communities that have sort of been disengaged and try to reconcile where there's a need for reconciliation. And the third one is what we call memory work, and which is why we're here now. How do we memorialize in a way that ensures that future generations sees Nelson Mandela's legacy for what it is, how it can build a better future.
Make sure they know who he is and what he's done.
And what he stood for, yeah.
Now, you mentioned California. Nelson Mandela has ties to the Bay Area.
Yeah, he came here in 1990, and that's why it was important for me to thank people of California, because when he came here, it was to acknowledge the work that you did for the anti-apartheid struggle. You remember that the U.S. was one of the areas or countries that resisted the sanctions, and this place was one of those that said no more South African products. We're not going to have South African products. And that helped speed up our transition.
Sure. Well, the foundation has a partnership with Skylawn Memorial Park. Tell me about that.
Yeah, at Skylawn Memorial, Chapel of Chimes Hayward, and Chapel of Chimes Oakland, we've always been deeply involved in our communities. And it was our partnership with the NAACP where the idea was first fostered. And we went as a group to the Mandela Foundation and proposed the idea.
And there's a contest.
There is.
Yeah, tell me about that.
There is. We posted a contest online to create a memorial that would serve as a memory or celebration of not only who Nelson Mandela was, but also the legacy that he created. And as part of that creative process, we're very excited to see the results of the contest.
How important is it to have a memorial like that for people? To go and feel connected? Do they feel connected to Nelson Mandela that way?
Incredibly important, I think. I think, you know, throughout history, our nations have created memorials that tell stories about dramatic events or individuals that have had a dramatic impact on society. And it's our hope with this contest that that we are able to create a memorial that not only speaks to who Nelson Mandela was, but also to the legacy that he created. And the intention is to have a gathering place for families or individuals to come to reflect and to remember and to create a dialogue, not only to remember what his values were and that those shared values, but also to continue to think about the peace and social justice that he stood for.
Let's talk about Nelson Mandela, the man. Do you think he knew how much of an impact he had on the world?
I think he did, but because of the humility of the man, he was so humble that he always thought that people were making too much of a fuss of what came naturally and should come naturally for every one of us. That wherever you see injustice, you must stand up and be counted. And he never understood that he was unique in many ways. And in fact, if there's one thing that that stood out about him, was that he always kept emphasizing that he was not a messiah. He was but one of us who can then help build a better country and a better world, a much more caring world. So I don't think it got to his head.
Sure.
So and the challenge for all of us is to always just live what we say. And because he managed to do that.
Yeah, he was such a great man. Well, thank you so much for coming on and telling us about the foundation and also the contest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. And for more information on the Nelson Mandela Memorial Design Competition, please log on to nelsonmandela-memorial.org. Again, that's nelsonmandela-memorial.org. Coming up, we'll hear about Booksmith's fun and affordable lit-themed events. We'll be right back.